Thing with sales is that it's different. Ambition is a mix of patience, stubbornness, and self-awareness.
Today's guest is the head of relationship management at Virtuzone, one of UAE's leading business setup companies. With more than 15 years of experience across business consulting, sales, media, advertising, events, and entrepreneurship.
You just need something that you want to call your own. And there's always going to be a niche for it because the world is so big right now. What people do wrong is they want to make something for everyone.
She has helped thousands of founders, investors, startups, and international entrepreneurs establish businesses in UAE.
One of the main things, again, is clarity. I have this, I want to do this, but nothing ahead of that.
She has a unique perspective on what separates successful entrepreneurs from those who struggle.
For trading, for physical goods, cold calling still works pretty well. For a service-based business, networking is so important because referrals.
We talk about entrepreneurship, leadership, the future of business in UAE, and the lessons she's learned after helping countless business leaders take their first step. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Business Best Friends. My name is Diji Shijahi. On today's episode of Business Best Friends, I'm joined by someone that I've heard so much about, but I finally get to see her today. I'm meeting her for the first time. She is the head of relationship management in Virtuzone, Sharon Tracy Thomas. Welcome to Business Best Friends.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today.
It is truly a pleasure to have you here because you are in the business consulting, management, that world. Yeah. And some of the questions that we've been receiving from people around here have been mostly to do with business startups, business consultancy. But before we start all that, we need a small icebreaker.
Sure.
If someone is to meet you for the very first time, like I did, 30 seconds, who is Sharon? But outside of the whole Virtuzone world that you're in.
So, I'll put one line professional because, we are talking professional stuff here. So professional by day, very, very serious occupation right now, building people's dreams. But when I go back home, I'm into woo-woo stuff, manifestation, alien conspiracy theories, things like that. Like everything that takes me away from the real world into imagination, traveling, books, music, dancing.
Aliens are real?
I believe they are.
Good. Right. We have one of them here.
Parallel universes and all of that.
Lovely. I do sometimes get into that woo-woo world too. Yeah. So other than that, you said you love traveling.
I do, yes.
Okay. So what is your favorite place you've been to?
So my favorite place is Bali. I go there. Well, I would if I could honestly move there at some point. I think I still will. I'm planning. Spain is the other one that I really like. I think those are my two favorite places. Greece, of course.
Yeah.
I think I've done about 32 countries till now. So,
nice.
I do one international country every year, new, and I do one new place in India every year as well, just to kind of look at our own. Yeah.
I would love to do India,
it's
properly.
Beautiful.
And so much to see.
Up north is, sometimes you're there and you think you're in Scotland, you're not. You're literally in Spiti or you're in Himachal. Oh my God, it is beautiful.
I haven't gone beyond Mumbai anywhere. So up north is
I was exactly the same. The first few years that I was in Dubai, I think it was when I just came here, everyone's like, you can get your Schengen so easy. So I'm like, I'm going to do Greece. And then in those 10 days, I'm doing 7 countries. So you see 2 days for each country and it's really difficult. And then I don't know how suddenly, I was my partner at that time. We started doing a lot of trips to India on bikes and things like that. And because of that, we did a lot up north and a little down south. And I realized India is so, so, so pretty. And I kind of continued keeping that on. So even now, every year, I try to take a trip somewhere, not Bombay,
Nice.
Even if it's close by to see different places. It's really
I would love
pretty.
to do that at some point because India is beautiful. That's top on my list more than any other.
I'll give you an entire itinerary you want.
Please do.
For an entire month or 2.
Would love that. Quickly, you've had this varied career, right? You started in, I believe, media.
Yeah.
And then you went into event management. You also had advertising in between, and now you're into business consultancy. Yeah. What did you study? And then did you imagine getting into this journey?
Oh man, no, not at all. So I studied, I was really smart in school, okay?
That's
So
the South
as for
Indian gene.
smart
That's the
children,
South Indian genes.
yes, it is. I think it comes from my dad. And I think as, Asian families in Bombay, doctor, engineer, blah, blah, blah. So because I was smart and I did really well in school, they're like, you need to do science. But in school, you're kind of isolated. So I was in boarding, I studied. There was no distractions. And then I got into college. And college brings its own entire world. Okay. And I saw so much more than I did when I was actually growing up. And I think I got distracted quite a bit as well.
Okay.
And the science went a little bit down the drain.
Nose dived.
And it was like, because I was doing science, it was go to college in the morning, come back in the afternoon, do classes in the afternoon. So half of my day used to go into that. By the time I come home, it's 9 in the evening and I had no life.
Right.
And I didn't think that that's really what I wanted to do. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll become a doctor, a forensic scientist. And then I had to dissect, I think it was an earthworm and a frog in my biology class. And I fainted.
Wow.
And that was the end of that career. So after I finished junior college, I had to kind of pivot and be like, I don't know what I want to do anymore.
Right.
And I've always been a little bit creative while I was growing up because my mom is as well. She used to write and she used to write all my poems and do all my drawings and stuff in school. So I think I got a little bit of her from her. And then there was these new professional things in Bombay, BMS, BMM, and things, which is Bachelor of Mass Media, Bachelor of Management Science, etc.
Okay.
So mass media was something that I did when I did my bachelor's. It was to do with advertising, events, journalism. You had to choose your major in your third year. So that's what I ended up studying. So I studied advertising. I studied some finance in it, economics, but for advertising and media. And that's how I got into the media industry because of that. So, and then in India as well, I was doing events. I've always loved events because I get bored really fast.
Okay. You need something that excites
I need something that changes all the time. I cannot come and sit and do the same thing every day. It really drives me crazy. So events, media was, even though the basics are the same, every event's different. The people you deal with are different. The things you're doing is different. The themes are different. So it kind of, the change and the excitement it kept bringing me worked for me. So that's how I got into media. And I was doing that back home when I just got out of college and I was interning as a media. I was doing events for Standard Chartered and HSBC and traveling to these places and living for free, in all these beautiful 5-star hotels. So it was a lot of fun.
And Bombay is also very dynamic in terms of...
So dynamic, really.
Yeah. In terms of events per se.
It was. And the thing is, I think the whole aspect of being able to travel to so many places at that age, when you're living on like really less pocket money and stuff like that, and then you get to do all of these things, really opened up the world for me a little bit. So for me, it was more about just learning and growing and seeing things that I wouldn't have ideally been able to see otherwise.
Right. And then family brought you, your parents parents brought you here
to the UAE. Yeah, they were working in the UAE for a very long time. So I was studying while I was studying back home. And I used to come here for holidays, for my summer holidays every year. And I said I was never going to come and move to this country because all my friends were back home then. It's so hot here. There was really nothing to do. There was one World Trade Center building and nothing else in Dubai.
I can relate. Yes.
So you can imagine. Yes. And then I had to come here due to some family, because of family. And then I was here. I had nothing to do. I was super bored. So I was like, I'm just going to look for something. And then Gulf News, which was my first job in Dubai, that came up in ad sales. So I'm like, why not? I'm young. I have not. Might as well try it. So I got into that. I worked there for, I think it was a year and a half, maybe 2. Loved it, but it was a little bit more rigid in a way, not as creative as I would have liked it to be. Great company to work with, though. And then I moved out from there, joined an advertising agency, which was what I was actually looking for at that point, because it was, along with the sales aspect, it also let me do the creative aspect of it. So build the marketing campaigns, do the events for the clients, be involved in all of the work that needs to be done. And then I joined an events company, which is purely events, purely events.
Your production, you mean?
Pure production, from the right, we made things ourselves. We had a warehouse in Alcuz. We did all of that. It was great, but I had no life other than work, because it's events. You work till 3 a.m, you come back home, you work all the weekends, you work Christmas, you work New Year, you work birthdays, you work weddings. And I had to kind of take a step back at one point and be like, is this what I want my life? And the thing is, I could have grown there and I could have become, I don't know, handled a team, but then it takes away all the excitement that I actually want. I'm doing that job because I like doing it, but it was also not letting me have the personal life that I wanted to. And I think I just took a break for a little bit to figure out what was happening. And one of my old bosses from the media industry, he was working with Virtuzone then. And I think he saw me on LinkedIn and, that I was looking for something new. So he reached out and he was like, oh, do you want to come? Did not know anything. Did not know what Virtuzone was then. Nothing. Came in for the interview. He loved me because he loved me from before. So I joined immediately. I thought it was just going to be more of a, like just to see if I like it or not. And I got into it. Of course, there was a lot of training because you need to learn a lot of things here. But you learn on the job as well because the industry keeps changing in the UAE. So trained on all of the free zones, learned on the job, met so many people, and I don't know. And now it's 10 years and I'm here. I don't even understand how. it just passed. Every year just ended up going and it kept going. And now I don't know how to do anything else. I wake up every morning and I'm like, what will I do if not this? And I don't know.
You truly do you love, what about the whole thing do you love so much? Is it the client interactions?
It's the client interactions. It's that it's so interesting still. It's one of the, because, like business sometimes can get boring.
Yes.
And I told you, I cannot do it boring. And media, I liked it because of that. And this business, for some reason, is not, because every client you meet, again, the basics are the same, but everything that you're doing with it is different. Every client you meet is different. Their story is different. What they're looking for is different. What they think of life is different. So it was just so easy in terms of just, I actually really love it. And I love when something happens and the client is so happy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God. And it's like you're building dreams. I know it sounds cliche. And it sounds like, oh my God, it's such a big thing.
Yeah.
But it is like that sometimes. People, you see the happiness and they move here with their family and then everything gets sorted and they're like, I'm so happy here. And then you see them in a year or two down the line because, they keep contacting you for something or the other. And they're like, oh my God. And then you see how they've grown and it gives you this weird kind of
satisfaction.
High.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Right. And all the roles that you've had so far, has there ever been a role that has taught you the lessons that you've still been using throughout your career?
I think what I've learned more than anything else is that you need to be really flexible, really adaptable. You cannot be very rigid in what you're doing, especially in UAE. Everything works with the gray areas.
Yes.
Everything has things that can be done.
Yeah.
And you need to be really accountable for everything, for yourself, for your team, for whatever you're working in. Because I've realized if you're not, then things can go wrong.
Yeah.
We're humans, errors happen. People make mistakes. As long as you hold yourself accountable, if it's yours, and move on from it, anything can get sorted. The moment you don't and you find excuses and you're like, oh, this happened, it's not my fault, I didn't do this, I couldn't do anything, that's where things don't work out. So, and it's a work in progress because, as human beings, you always pull yourself back and you're like, oh my God, I don't want it. Like, you don't really want to be like, I made a mistake.
Yes.
But I felt the easiest to be like, I've made a mistake, I'm really sorry, let's try and sort it out.
Right. Take accountability for what
and I've seen the person generally sitting in front of you, if you do take accountability for it, accept it, and then give them a solution, 90% of the time they're okay.
Yes.
You're like, okay, you know what, it's okay, you're a human being, you made a mistake, I make mistakes too. You found me a solution as well. And then they're like, oh, fine, okay,
Yeah.
cool, we can deal with this.
Yeah,
So-
it's the justification and not doing anything about it that actually
Yes.
frustrates the client or anyone in front of you. You're absolutely right about that. Sales is a big part of what you do. I believe that sales is something that everybody does. My operations director and I, we always talk about this. We're selling, everyone is selling something.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yes, yes.
So sales is a huge part of your profile, right? What has sales taught you about the mentality of people, like when you meet with people?
So I think the thing with sales is that it's different. Okay, it's the same in terms of when you're everyone is selling something, everyone is selling something they believe in. You have to understand who you're selling to though, because every person is different. How I would speak to you or how I would pitch something to you is not how I would pitch something to the other person.
Yeah.
Because and I think once you have enough experience in sales and you've been doing it for a while, you can look at a person in the first two sentences that you speak to the person, you'll understand where they are coming from and what they are expecting from you. A lot of other things come into play as well. Sometimes nationality, culture, traditions, how you actually put something forward to the other person. Some people really want you to be more, it's more emotional and
Yes.
it's more like where you're catering to their personal side.
Yes.
For some it's straight, I just want the bare bones of it. This is how it's going to be, this is how long it's going to take. So I think it's more about human interaction and understanding of people.
True.
Which only comes with experience. You can go to 100 business schools and you can go to like 700 sales trainings, but what experience is going to teach you? And this is not going to, it's not going to be the
You're not
same.
going to learn
No.
anything in books. It has to come from experience.
And you cannot go into any meeting with an assumption. You cannot.
Yes.
You have to go open-minded. Okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about because you'll have a little bit of details from the beginning that this person needs this. So you need to go prepared with the product or service that you are planning to sell. You need to be an expert at it. But you cannot go saying, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to say it this way. You meet the person. You probably hopefully researched a little bit about them from the beginning. So you have a little bit of an idea. Then based on how your interaction goes, you do it. Yes, how you feel the client's going to take it. So
Amazing. That's true. Never go prejudging someone. No, just go there, meet. And it's also a lot about building relationships, right?
so much. It's all rapport, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes your meetings, which should be 10 minutes, takes an hour. But something that would have then been just a small one-time deal is then going to be 10 recurring deals because you took that time.
Yeah. No, it's all about rapport. I've had millions of dirhams worth of transactions happening over phone calls just because it's a rapport. That's just, and sometimes 10 dirham transaction that takes forever. Yes. So it is all based on relationships. I completely agree. You've worked with startups, you worked with multinational corporations, first time founders. How different is each, especially in the approach?
Yeah. So actually, if you look at it on paper, they're very, very different from each other. Okay, so if you look at startups, everything is like frantic and everything is panic and everything's in a hurry and everything needs to be done today and yesterday. If you look at multinationals, they follow process. So you send them something, there's like 700 approvals, 5 people have to sign off on it. It's never about the cost and stuff there. It's just about process. They need it, they're going to take it from you, but it's going to happen at their pace. Whether it's a month, whether it's 3 months. When it's founders, it's generally just the one person, and you find them to be the most passionate about whatever it is that they are actually trying to do. And as long as you appeal to them, as long as you believe in what they're actually
what they want
you to believe in, you're through the door.
You're golden.
Yes, you're kind of golden there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, each person is different.
Yeah.
And after you've had thousands of client meetings, what has entrepreneurship taught you about ambition in general?
Yeah, so ambition. I know everyone talks about it, and I think people confuse ambition with fame because they're like, ambition, oh, I'm glamorous, I'm going to this party and I'm going to be walking down this carpet. And that happens as well.
A lot,
because sometimes with ambition, you get money and these doors open for you. But from what I've seen when it comes to entrepreneurs and people who are actually building businesses, ambition is a mix of patience, stubbornness, and self-awareness.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you need patience to keep showing up to the same thing again and again And again, it's not like I'm just doing this and it's going to happen the first time. No.
Yeah.
You need that little bit of stubbornness to stick to your guns, to stick to your principles, to be like, I know this will work. I know that there is something out here for it. Maybe I might need to move some things around. Maybe I'm not reaching the right market or however that might be, but it's there. And then you also need self-awareness to know when that stubbornness is turning to ego. Because you can say I'm stubborn, I'm sticking to my guns, but if measurable data and doing the same thing again and again is not giving you the result, and you're just doing it because you're like, I have made this, it's gonna be right, then that's not gonna work either. Self-awareness to be like, I have the right idea. Maybe I'm not pitching it to the right people. Maybe it's not the right market. Maybe my execution is not great. So you still need to have that self-awareness to be a little flexible, to adapt. And if you're an entrepreneur, I believe ideas will come.
Yes.
It's not just it's something today,
One thing
you'll
and
make
that's
something
it.
else tomorrow. So.
Yeah. Now, one of my favorite books is Be Obsessed or Be Average, where they actually talk about that obsession. That's the stubbornness you were talking about.
Yes.
But you're right. Without self-awareness, it's a downward spiral. And a lot of people can get that ego caught up where they believe that their idea or their concept is the best thing on earth. My child is my favorite. My child is the best concept. No?
And I get it because your idea is like your child. So I understand it. It's like, a mother with their kid. But even a mother with their kid tempers how they're taking care of their children, and if you're doing it right, then you're raising your child right. You're still giving them
the tough love
that you need. It's the same thing with your idea as well. Sometimes you do need to give tough
you
love
need to
also.
understand the market and then research and do accordingly. Let's say a client is walking into Virtuzone with so confused, right, with all the options that's available. What's the first thing that you and your team sit down and assess from a client?
That's interesting. I think it depends. So the thing is, when a client comes in, generally we have a little bit of information at least, from the beginning. Even if it's just the basic, this is my name, this is my nationality, because this is something that we capture because it makes it easier for us also to know what we're going in with. Because as you know, the UAE and the UAE's, set up market that is there, it's huge. We have like 45 plus different free zones in the UAE. You have the 7 Emirates, 7 mainlands. There are some free zones that are specific to certain, though they have everything, but they're specific to certain industries, some for something else, some tax designated free zones, some not. So there's like so many different things. So we always try to capture something from the beginning. So at least we know to an extent what the client needs. But when we generally go in, the first thing we ask them is, well, would you like some tea and coffee? Because it calms them down immediately.
First thing.
And then I generally ask them, this is specific to me, and this is what I try to teach my team as well. I ask them, what do you see your life being in 2 or 3 years? Not today.
Okay.
Because a lot of times what happens is, especially when you're a founder or an entrepreneur and you're so overwhelmed, you're thinking about today, you're thinking about your idea and your company today, you're not really thinking about how it's going to be part of your life, how it's going to affect your life, how it's going to seep into your life in general. But when you ask them that, and when you're like, just tell me how you see your business in 3 years, for example. Okay. This only works for clients who are actually doing it to build a business, not for clients who are doing it for certain other reasons where it might be residency just for tax purposes. So it differs from client to client. But people who are actually trying to build something, when you ask them that, and then they're able to be like, oh, I see, in 3 years, I have these 3 clients as on my client base. They are located in Internet City, as an example, or they're located in the US and I have 10 people under me working. That is when I can then work backward to understand where they need to be. If I ask them what you need to do, they'll be like, I need a software company. I'm the only person.
Right.
It kind of blocks you, and literally every single option in the UAE would work for that person at that point.
Yes.
But when you ask them as to what they see it being built to, how it's going to look for them in 2 or 3 years, is when you realize it totally narrows down the options for you. If someone says, I'm going to be tendering for this government contract 3 years down the line, because let's say the expo is coming, as an example, and he's like, I want to build the stands at the expo or whatever. that's going to be a government contract. You can't do that being a free zone company. You need to have a mainland company for it. If you just told me, oh, I want to do events or I just want to do media production anywhere, it does not give me that much of an understanding.
Correct.
So
it goes back to what you were saying initially when the sales bit, which is you have to sit down and understand each person and try to understand from them what it is.
Yes.
Interesting. And something you said, it's not part of the question, so my team is going to hate me. But something you said before about the mainland free zone and all that, right? As Virtuzone, let's just take that as an example. You are based out of Dubai.
Yeah.
Do you have offices in Abu Dhabi as well?
So we have an office in Fujairah. We used to have an office in Sharjah, like a satellite office, and we have someone going there up and down. We have partner companies in
other Emirates.
In Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to take, like with ADGM, for instance, take a company there, will you, Virtuzone, be able to support them? You would.
So we potentially work with any and all the free zones in the UAE.
Yeah.
I'm saying free zones, but I mean with anyone in the UAE.
Also.
With certain jurisdictions, we might have to use a partner. The reason being is, for example, if you're looking at offshores, there needs to be registered agents, and only certain kind of agents can be registered. So we will still do the consulting, and we will still be your the person who's dealing with the client. But we might need to use a third party. But the third party are always partner or sister companies. We've been acquired recently by a really big,
I read the news.
A firm, and they have multiple companies under them. And so because of that, they've taken over a few others as well in the UAE, and those have become a partner companies as well. So the gaps that we had that we couldn't fill before are now being filled by those. So everything comes under one umbrella. So it's much easier for us to actually provide the client with whatever they want based on what their requirements are.
Everything under one umbrella now. Has there ever been in your talks with the clients, potential clients, ever been times when you're like, you should not start a business, or anytime you had to tell them maybe starting a business is not the right way for you right now?
It happens sometimes, and honestly, they don't really take it in a bad way or to heart. At least not from what I've spoken to clients or what I've dealt with right now. If I see the client is really not sure, because if you don't have clarity, nothing is going to work. So if they're like, I'm thinking, sometimes people come in and they're like, can you give me a business idea? What businesses work in the UAE? Wow. And I'm like, guys, I can give you, I can remove entire data, but it's not going to work. You need to, it's not like I wake up one morning and I'm like, I'm going to do this today. Yes, I mean, I can have the idea, still have to work to make the idea a reality. Sometimes people do it a lot for residence purposes. They're like, oh, I lost my job, or I don't have a job right now. I'll just get the visa for I don't know, 3-4 months while I look for another job. Now, I could always be like, set up a company, get a visa. I mean, it's money for me, It's not right though, because it's not just like, I'm not just buying a visa. You're buying a company, you're buying a visa. You have to get all the compliance. You have to pay to close down tomorrow. It does not make sense. It does not make sense financially. It does not make sense logically. If I see that the client has a lot of experience in the market and let's say they've been doing something like I've been doing and they're doing a consultancy business, I would still say that's okay, because their consultancy might work. They could sell consultancy services and that could be their business. But if someone's just like in that hurry, in that desperate panic, they're like, oh, I just need it now. I'm like, look, there are these options. I don't think it's the right option for you, but I leave it with them. I never make a decision for someone, because it's a personal choice. If after I'm telling you everything, you're still like, I want to do it, then
it's on you. Yeah, completely on you. And you're right, a lot of times desperation causes people, because they want to be here, and because UAE is still very visa driven, they need to be here, and they desperately jump into it. Because these cost things is something I want to get into. When someone's starting a company, I've heard many people actually say that there were lots of hidden costs that we did not account for. What are some of the hidden costs that's generally there?
So first of all, I feel like people saying hidden costs is not actually the right way to say it. No one's really hiding from you on purpose. Okay?
I've got 9 companies. There are no hidden costs. It's clear.
I mean, It's not hidden, it's just not disclosed, because when you are setting up in the beginning, see, the main costs are your license costs. You have your visa costs if you're taking visa costs. You have your bank account opening if you need help. You have a corporate tax registration. You have any compliance that might be required based on the activities that you're doing, any kind of regulatory authorities.
Media, central bank, all those things.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you have a media activity, if you need an NMC approval, if you're doing any kind of financial activity or virtual assets, then you need your VARA or your central bank approval or an SCA approval, depending on what that is. If you're doing an education activity, you need the KHDA or the Ministry of Education approval. So, but that is specific and it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So these are your basic costs that your company have, which any company will have, which you are ideally being told when you're setting up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you. You have a you want to set up a software company. You want one visa. You want a bank account. Blah blah blah. Let's say 30K, for argument's sake. Now, when they say hidden costs, they're like, now down the line tomorrow they want another visa.
Correct.
Or they need to take an office, or they need to add another activity, or they need to add another shareholder. Now, this is not something that it's being discussed with you you cannot, because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to change for you tomorrow. So they think it's hidden. It's not hidden. It's just not something that came up in the beginning.
True.
But this is what I try to explain to my clients from the beginning. They think that the company setup is a finish line. It's not the finish line. It's literally just the starting point. Yeah. And you need to have cash discipline to be able to actually succeed and for you to actually continue. Because past that starting point of setting up is when everything else is going to come up for you.
Yes.
Based on how your, how your situation changes, how it grows, how it evolves.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just a starting point. You're absolutely right. Many people think I've set up a company and that's it, we're done. No, that's where it begins.
Correct. And it's renewals every year. You have to renew your license every year, your visa every 2 years. This is something that's generally, at least from what I've seen personally, in my opinion, is being actually told to the person that, okay, look, and you can see on your license that issue date and expiry date.
Period. Yeah, it's there.
Expiry
means,
date meaning you have to renew it, right? It's like my license is expiring. I have to renew my license.
Absolutely.
I have to pay to renew my license. It's
I
the
think a
same
lot
thing.
of things you said is like adding another activity or adding another visa. And then the visa quotas matter. So you've taken a company with 2 people means if you want to add someone else, there's an additional charge of the extra quotas. So yeah, these are things which nobody would be able to guide you upfront unless you're actually going
and
through
unless you have clarity from the beginning. That's why I ask, what do you see? Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
Right.
Because if you tell me that you're looking to hire 10 people, automatically my proposal to you changes from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because me giving you something that's not going to give you the chance to have 10 visas in 3 years, there's
that's
no
on
point.
You then.
Then so I have to ask, but if you're telling me I need 1 visa, then you're 2 months down the line, you're like, I need 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to pay for it. Nothing's free. It's Dubai.
Absolutely. Tell me, what's the biggest misconception that people have about mainland and free zone?
Main misconceptions they have, first of all, with mainland is that you still need a local partner, which 98% of activities currently don't need. So you can be 100% owned LLC in the mainland right now. And with the free zones, they generally, I think maybe the main misconception now is that you don't need to pay tax if you're in a free zone. And that's not true either. Tax, I will not get into that very, very deeply right now because it is tax and it can get quite complicated. But I can tell you that any company in the UAE, whether free zone, whether mainland, is subject to corporate tax. You have to register for corporate tax. You have to do your accounting. You have to do your filing. However, every company, under certain exceptions that are put into place, you could be under those exemptions of tax and not end up paying it.
Yeah.
The registration, filing, accounting you have to do, but then based on what your activity is, under what threshold you come in terms of the revenue and turnover you are making, most of the really small, medium-sized companies would come under the exemptions.
These
if
are
you look at them.
exemptions. LLC you mentioned. LLC is, what is an LLC? And can an LLC only be formed in a mainland? And again, will a company in free zone be called an LLC?
So an LLC basically is a limited liability company,
Yeah.
which basically means the liability is limited to the capital or the share value of your company. Now, every company in the UAE, whether free zone or mainland, is limited liability.
Oh, really?
The only difference is in the mainland, it's LLC.
Yeah.
In the free zone, it's generally FZLLC or FZLLE or FZCO.
Oh, interesting.
It's still limited liability.
Oh, I was told by someone recently it's not. They
No.
said that if you're a free zone, then limited liability law doesn't apply to a free zone.
It's not true. Again, limited liability law in the UAE, for example, I know that, okay, so my share capital is 50,000 dirhams, okay? Now, you've taken a job from someone, and this generally works in terms of when it comes to
liquidation or
being
bankruptcy.
sued or things like that. Now, I'm the manager of the company, I'm the shareholder of the company. I've taken a job, I've messed up the job, and the client has lost, I don't know, 500,000 dirhams for whatever reason, right? Now, my liability of my company is only 50,000. So technically, I'm only liable for 50,000.
Right.
But I've taken your job, you've paid me all of that money, you've lost all of that money. I'm still liable for it.
Correct.
So, and that is regardless of whether you're mainland or whether you're free zone. So,
Right.
the laws say that it's not supposed to be, but it's not. It depends on the court to accept it or not.
Correct.
If the person who's put the case has proven that I have actually lost them 500,000 dirhams, and I would ideally have to pay for it.
True.
So all the companies mostly in the UAE are limited liability companies.
Okay.
And when you're setting up the company, there's a minimum threshold that the jurisdiction allows you to have, and you can always increase it. I don't think it makes that much of a difference here in the UAE, to be honest. In like the 10 years I've done it, the only time it comes into play is when you're trying to tender for really big contracts, because certain contracts require that your license has a liability of a certain amount, like your share capital or your liability is 1 million or 2 million. When you're tendering for, I don't know, construction contracts, government contracts and stuff. So there it will come into play.
Okay.
But mostly if you're doing normal businesses, normal jobs, you anyways, as a customer and a client, you have your normal contracts, you have your agreements between each other. If anything has to go, it's going to go to court and it's going to get, taken care of there.
So that'll be a separate thing, which will be like, it goes to the court. It's completely on the judge's discernment what he decides to do, right? Is it advantageous to have a company in mainland? If so, why?
Again, honestly, it depends from client to client. Right. Now, if someone tells me that, so the question that you generally need to ask the client is, where are your customers located?
Yeah.
Where are you getting paid from? How are you getting paid? Now, if someone tells me all my customers are either in the free zone, especially if it's a service company. Right. So someone is providing a consultancy service, okay? IT consultancy, for example. Their clients are in internet city, just for argument's sake.
Everything.
Some of their clients are in the US, whatever. They're getting paid mostly from the free zone or from outside. They are not really looking to scale up, don't really need an office. Or even if they do, for them a free zone works perfectly fine. You don't really need to have a mainland license in that case. You can, it's not like you can't. But if you're going to be like two people, you can take a much more reasonably priced free zone license, continue working under that, get your bank account, get paid. If someone is telling me that I want walk-in customers, I want to do retail, I want to work with governments, most of my clients are in the mainland. Now, whether mainland, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, doesn't matter, but they are here, they're located here, their offices are here. That's when a mainland would come into play. Because there are certain approvals and regulations that if you're setting up as a mainland company, you wouldn't need a middleman. Everything would be on you.
Yeah.
So whenever it comes to trading of certain products, you want an office in the mainland, you want a shop in the mainland, you want people to walk in and buy from you. Yeah. That's when you'd look at having
I've also been told, I don't know how far it's true, but I've been told that if you have a license per se in mainland, then you can take an office anywhere. For example,
in the mainland only.
Yeah, only in mainland, not in the free zone. So if I have a mainland license, I can't take an office in DSO, for example.
You can't get an Ijari, yes, because you're mainland, because DSO as well, by the way, they have mainland and free zone sites both. So in the free zone, it is with the free zone. The spaces
it.
are
Got
owned
it.
by the free zone. You will take an office in DSO, which is mainland owned. Same with, I think there's a couple of places in DIC which are the same. I think Concord Tower, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, is
DMCC,
DD, if I'm not.
that area as well.
A few places, yeah.
JLT, I think when we were looking, they said no, it has to be media under DMCC.
DMCC, it's a free zone.
Yeah,
that's
free
why.
zone.
So the good thing about mainland is very broad in terms of the space. So you have Business Bay, you have downtown, Dera, Karama,
Correct.
Bardabai, a lot of Barsha, DIP, and
Yes.
it kind of stretches out a lot. So you have a lot of space if you need a lot of place. With free zones, you have to kind of legally, if you ever wanted an Ejari in the free with a free zone company, you can only take it in that
free zone.
So that's why the scaling up and what you need is kind of important in the beginning to know.
No, got it. And how important is choosing the right activity in your license?
You know, people treat it as a formality.
Okay.
I think it is one of the most important factors to take into account when you're actually trying to do a business, because most of the things that you do after will stem from that. Whether you get a bank account, because the bank you might, and even if your bank account opens, if your license says something, your invoices say something else, the bank's going to come back to you in 3 months being like, how are you doing this? Your license is not allowing it. There's compliance checks happening with the jurisdictions all the time now, just randomly. Tomorrow, the jurisdiction asks you, oh, your license says this, show me 3 invoices. Your invoices says something completely different. They'll be like, you can't do this. And then you have to amend your license, which incurs fees.
Yes.
Things get stuck while you're amending it because you're not supposed to technically work if you have the wrong activity. So it's very important to know what activity, where the activity is taking place, how you're going to get paid for the activity. So this is something that, which is why companies like Virtuzone and myself come into play, because you need to sit with someone and be like, this is what I want to do. And then based on your specific situation is when you're advised, okay, you might not have one option, you might have 4, but at least you have the right options in front of you with exact explanations as to why and what each does in terms of pros and cons, and then you make the decision based on what you're comfortable with.
But I think that's why a lot of people also take free zone licenses, because there's a lot of activities you can club together.
With mainland, they're quite strict.
Very strict. It has to fall under the same umbrella of activity.
You can still do it, but it's very complicated. And it's like by the time you get the approval, you're just like, oh God, let me
I don't want to do business anymore.
They are strict about it, because they are they take trading and services to be complete. It's commercial and professional, that's right. So,
yes, we have.
So they are pretty strict about it. It's proper government. They're like, no, this is what it is. Take it or leave it. So,
Free
zones are a bit more flexible.
Pretty flexible. How long does it take first when someone comes to Virtuzone to set up a company, like the whole process? How many days, weeks, months? And what causes, if any, delays?
I'm going to be honest, okay?
Please.
Because I'm tired of people saying, oh, I'm going to get my license in 1 day. And then when I tell them the actual time, they're like, why are you telling me this? And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you the truth. You can read a lot of stuff online. Now, if we're taking a client coming in new, so I'm moving in from India, okay, I want to set up a company, I want to get my visa, and then I want to get my bank account. So you can't jump steps. You get your company license first, then you get your visa, then you get your bank account. Now, your company license, depending on the jurisdiction that you are trying to set up in, depending on your profile, because compliance is coming into play with every single jurisdiction right now, can take anywhere between 3 working days to 10 working days. Sometimes 15 working days. Because there's company names going back and forth. You want something, the jurisdiction's like, I'm sorry, you can't have this full stop here, there's things. So I generally tell the client anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks for license setup, okay? Then maybe another 2 weeks for the visa to be process done. The good thing is, for the license to the start of the visa process, you don't need to be here. So I could be in India, I could get my license started, I could get the initial part of my visa started, and I only need to come here for the last week to get my visa, the medical,
Emirates ID and all,
biometrics
yeah.
done. And in 1 week, I'm done. And as soon as my Emirates ID is done, I can go and get my bank account.
Okay.
So the process seems long, and it looks like, let's say it's a month and a half from what I've said.
Yeah.
But in that month and a half, 1 month, you're chilling back home, you're preparing your business plan, you're trying to get your business done. Everything's happening here in the background.
Okay, so as long as they have everything.
Yes. If it's a simple business activity, the profile of the client is super easy. You could potentially look at being done with license visa within 3 weeks. On average, though, for everyone, I tell people to take it about a month and a half with all kinds of contingencies in place, public holidays, you being able to travel here to get things done.
Yeah.
So generally in a month and a half to get your license, your visa, and your bank account.
Okay, got it. Let's say a lot of people say within the country that setting up the company is the hardest part. But according to you, because you know that it's not the hardest part, what are the main things that actually are? Is it the company bank account? Because that is truly the hard part, I feel.
It is.
What other factors are?
Company setup, actually, honestly, once you actually know where you need to be, what you need to do, Dubai or the UAE actually has one of the most efficient and easy ways to actually set up a company compared to a lot of other places. We're doing a lot of other countries as well right now because of the group we're working with. And this is actually one of the fastest and efficient, as long as you know what you want to do. The company setup and visa is the easy part. What becomes difficult after is the bank account, because the bank account has central bank and all of their rules and regulations. And everyone, like I said before, in the UAE wants to make money. Yes. Banks want to make money as well. Bankers want to make money as well. Everyone wants to sell you products. So that's where it becomes a little bit of a hassle where someone's like, oh no, you need this, or you need an office, or you need to take this insurance, or you need to take this investment, etc. Again, that's another, and it might look like I'm selling, Virtuzone here, which I should, because I work for them. But it does make a difference when you have someone who's helped you actually do the setup, because most companies like ours do provide you with business banking help as well.
Oh, that's
so once
nice.
you get the setup done, once your license is issued, once your visa is issued, you can be helped with banking, everything that you need to be compliant. So banking, tax registration, VAT, if you need to be compliant for that as well. Any kind of compliance, if you have any of those legal activities or financial activities that require AML, etc., that's something that corporate service providers like ours can actually help you with. So the business setup, actually the easiest part.
Yeah.
It's everything else after comes through
that
that you don't know about, because you don't. You're setting up an IT company. You don't know anything else. You don't know banking. You don't know any of the compliance stuff required for it.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice if you can also provide the other support. So it's just you literally, especially people who are coming from outside UAE,
Who know
right?
nothing.
Who know nothing. It will really help. You've seen how Dubai as a landscape has changed and evolved in the past so many years.
Yeah.
How has the entrepreneurship landscape here changed?
To be honest, in the UAE, actually in the work that I'm currently doing, in the 10 years that I was doing, the number of companies that we're setting up every month, that I'm setting up, that my team or my company setting up now, that it was 10 years ago, is, I think it's like, I don't even know whether it's tripled or quadrupled or what it is. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, wow.
And entrepreneurship in general, not just in the UAE, there's no gates, or there's nothing stopping you anymore. No generation, no culture, nothing. Like you have, I don't know, a 15-year-old doing unboxing videos on YouTube who probably, paid off their parents' house, has a Harvard fund already, just sitting there ready to go to college. And then you have a 45-year-old IT person who's been working in a mid-sized company, figured out the problems he was facing while he was doing the IT, built something to bridge it, sold it to the company he's now resigned from, sold it to other businesses, making the same amount of money. So I've realized that it's anyone can be an entrepreneur right now. You just need to find that idea or that problem, find a solution for it. Now, not everyone's going to blow up and become something trendy that the entire world is going to look at. You're not going to be this app that everyone's using. And not everyone needs to be that either. Not
Correct.
everyone wants to be on the Forbes 30 below 30 or 40 below 40 or whatever
Yeah.
that might be. You just need something that you want to call your own.
Yes.
And there's always going to be a niche for it because the world is so big right now. What people do wrong is they want to make something for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not always going to
no,
work.
no.
You find those tiny niche of people who need you,
Yes.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And you're golden. And then you don't really have to worry.
Yeah.
Well, you have to still
You do,
evolve
of
a
course.
little bit.
Yeah.
But you're kind of where you need to be.
Yeah, it's like almost talking about social media because you will find your people, you will find your
You will.
niche. Yeah, there's always someone as crazy as weird as you.
As
somewhere.
crazy, as freaky, as what you want to say, you're
Yes.
going to find
yes,
it.
you're going to find your tribe no matter what. Dubai, in general, we've been seeing post-COVID a lot of founders relocating to Dubai. What do you think is driving that? Is it also it's a follow-up question is about the golden visa opportunity that's been given now. Do you think that plays a major role, or is it the environment itself that Dubai is?
There's multiple factors when it comes to this. Tax has always been an aspect, and tax is always going to remain an aspect. Even with the 9% corporate tax here, most of the other countries has corporate and income tax.
Yes.
Such high rates that this 9% makes honestly no difference.
no difference.
And there are still exemptions if you're below certain thresholds and stuff like that. So that I will say when it comes to businesses and when people are looking to do what they're doing, that's always going to be one of the number one factors that play a part in it. Second one is safety, in terms of, we all come from different countries here. In terms of safety of raising your family here, relocating here, living here, the kind of education that you get here as a single woman living here, coming back home at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, without any worry for how I'm going to be, I think safety plays such a big part in people's lives in the UAE. Access,
Yes.
because everything is, it is called the Middle East
is
for
the
a
Middle
reason,
East.
So
It is the Middle
everything's
East,
like from any other country that you need to fly into. Especially if you're going to make your life here and you're from another country, home is not that far away as you would be if you were going from one side of the world to the other. You're still kind of in between.
Yes, true.
And I think like you said, the long-term residency has played a very big part right now because earlier you worked here for so long, you did so much for so long, and you didn't really have something permanent to show for it. You always
Like our
had
parents.
to,
Yeah.
like our parents, like after you aged out of the system, if that's the way to say it, you just had to go back home, and you've made this your life and this your world for so long, and then to leave 30 years and go back to a home which is not home is so complicated.
True.
Now being able to actually buy a property, or there's different ways to get the golden visa, of course, to be able to get that 10-year visa even after you've aged out of the system in a way, to still be able to call this your home.
That has made a huge difference. You're right. Based on what you've seen, like you've been setting up helping so many industries, people in different industries set up companies. What industries do you think are booming right now in UAE?
E-commerce.
Okay.
It's been doing, I think it was maybe COVID, if I'm not mistaken. It was anything to do with tech, to be honest. Your fintech, your health tech, and technology when it comes to operational stuff as well. So trade tech, if I'm not mistaken, and what was it? Logistics.
Oh, okay.
So where they're trying to
logistics.
sort out your operational issues, So anything in technology right now is doing super well. E-commerce, of course. And I see trading even now. Like in UAE is the trade hub. It's always going to remain the
It'll
trade
always
hub.
be, yeah.
So I don't think that's changed since I've been doing this job. Trading has been one of the top selling businesses since I've seen it. Cybersecurity as well is one of the other ones in terms of, again, it comes to technology and software, but you see a lot of people doing that because of the whole, AI and what we were speaking about before.
True. And what industries do you believe are still very underrated in this country?
Maybe education, especially education when it comes to skill-based education, because when you're doing education, when it comes to like schooling and college and stuff, it is quite regulated and complicated here. But when I'm saying education, I'm talking in terms of skills to teach us. The world is evolving, the way we work is evolving, and I know there's AI everywhere and everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
And we have Claude, and we're using Claude to, can you type this email for me? Or can you give me this information?
Yes.
And we just did a training the other day with one of our clients who does Claude trainings. And she's like, anyone can be a builder. She literally said that.
Wow.
And she was explaining it. I understood some of it. And it's ridiculous what she was doing with the app. It's crazy. She inputs some stuff. Yes, you still need a person behind it. And it just spits out these things to you, which ideally would take me maybe a week to do it. But I don't know how to do it.
Right.
Because I didn't learn that. When I studied in school, when you studied in school, we weren't taught all of this.
Yeah.
So I've been looking for things to teach me, like AI to use business strategy, like using AI for business strategy. And I haven't really found anything great for it yet.
Yeah.
And I think UAE is missing that.
Yes.
Where if you find, and I'm just saying AI, there's so many other things. I'm just saying it because it's on everyone's mouth right now. That's all I hear from people. But anything which is very specifically skills-based, skills that can be taken to the next level, skills that will be available for the next 10 years or 15 years, which is what we're looking at, is something I think people maybe need to look at for the next best idea or whatever.
Awesome. I know how but then it can also be because I'm sure they are there, the niches are there, but then we are not being exposed much to, right?
Probably.
That's also another
I'm
thing.
still researching to figure out where and what it can be.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
I'm sure.
But the thing is, I haven't really also come across anyone who's doing it.
Exactly.
So
yeah, true.
maybe after seeing this, someone...
Yes, somebody might just pop
I'll
up
be your
and
first
say.
customer.
No, but our operations director has made it mandatory here that everyone spends some time a day learning AI. At least those are things which we need to implement into the business.
I think every business needs it. It's not to replace, it's just to enhance. I think a lot of people get that wrong as well. You're not replacing people.
No, we are
just
replacing people here. Not
I do not agree with that.
Yeah, we are replacing everyone here very soon. Yeah, you'll just find some robots sitting there. You are a woman in leadership role. How do you think the past 4-5 years in UAE, women in leadership roles have evolved?
I'm seeing so much of it, DG, like so much of it right now. And I'll just speak about my company specifically because I'm sitting here and I'm working for them right now. Other than the top, like our CEO who's male and our GM who's male, all of the other 3 departments are run by females.
Oh, nice.
So I head the relationship management department. My other colleague, she heads the corporate services department, and the CFS department. Another colleague of mine heads the operational department, and we're all women.
Oh,
so awesome. Which maybe 10 years down the line is not something that you would have seen.
Yes.
And I think companies are really opening up with understanding that just because we're women and we're getting married and going to have babies, I don't see that coming into play anymore. Like people have been working with us, they've had a baby, they've taken a break for 3-4 months, they've come back to work with the same position, doing even better because now you have a child and you have to pay for the child. So you're like, I want to make more money, so you're going to do it. And I've seen this it's not just with us, even with my friends, the people who work here in the UAE. I'm seeing, like, with your HR and stuff, HR managers of big companies like your, companies I won't name, but they're all women. When you go to conferences and when you go to certain webinars and stuff like that, you'll see so many women speakers now. You'll see women hosting even, compared to how it was maybe 6 years ago.
True. And your team, how do you... what are the values you look for? What are the things you look for when you're hiring people in your team?
I think I look for work ethic and accountability. I think that's very important. Yeah. Skills is you can learn.
Teachable.
I can teach you everything.
Yeah.
But I need you to want to do it, and I need you to want to do it when I'm not there.
Absolutely.
So when I'm there and you're sitting in front of me and you're working, that's great. I love it. But what happens when I have to take leave?
Yes.
I go traveling.
Yes.
I need work to still be done when I'm gone.
Yeah.
That only happens if you have work ethic and you have accountability and you want to do the job well for you, not for me, not for anyone else, but because it's your job, you get paid for it. And especially in a sales job,
Yeah.
everything depends on how good you do your job, how
Absolutely.
well you do your job. Because the better you do it, the happier your client is. The client comes back to you, the client refers people to you. It's one of the main, I think sales is one of the main aspects where customer service is so important.
Yeah, because that repeat clients
Repeat.
is amazing, and repeat and referral. So
Repeat
this keeps-
referrals for our business
Yeah.
is like
Yes.
so important. It's
Yeah.
80% of the job's done.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what do you say when because you're in a client-facing job, right? What is more important, emotional intelligence, or is it like talent and skills? I think you already kind of said what is important.
I
but-
mean, again, talent
Yeah.
and skills can learn, especially in a job like mine. You have to learn. You keep learning every day because the environment changes all the time. So I don't think you come in saying, I know everything. You cannot. But emotional intelligence is so important, and I don't think you can teach that.
No.
You either have it or you don't.
yeah.
So that's the most important when you are
Yes,
in a room.
true. Absolutely. What is one leadership lesson that no business school has ever taught you or can teach somebody?
I mean, honestly, I haven't been to business school, so I don't know. But I think from experience, because I've been doing this for some time, I think leadership is not about control, which a lot of people get wrong, which I also get wrong sometimes because you want to control how things are being done.
The
No.
outcome, yeah.
Yeah, you cannot. You just, I think what you need to do is not control the how, explain what needs to be, like what needs to happen, what the result needs to be. And as long as the result happens, of course, there are certain policies and everything every company has that you need to follow. I get all of that. But just because you're doing it this way doesn't mean the other person, everyone works differently. I'm like disorganized chaos. My friend who does as well as I do, she's completely organized. Like I don't even understand her organizational skills. It's crazy.
Okay.
But we both do the same thing. We both have similar outcomes. We work very differently. So when you have a team, I think you need to understand that. Your outcome is whatever your KPI might be. Okay, I need you to sell 100,000 this month. I need you to do this. I'm giving you these tools to do it. Do it. Now, if you do it this way, you do it that way, as long as it's within
It's
the
done.
confines
Yes,
of business,
yes.
I'm okay.
Right. True.
So that's how I feel like you just need to let the people, tell them what you want, let them do it.
Right. Let's get deep into the company formation, not the process itself, but when you've helped so many people, lots of founders, let's say. Many founders, you see that they start a company and within 1 year, 2 years, they're just not going where they thought they are going. From your experience, talking to these people, meeting a lot of these founders, what do you think it is? Is it cash flow issue? Is it execution issue? What normally happens for most founders that they're not successful?
This is specifically to do with founders, okay? Someone who's actually building something, doing something, not just for someone who's like, I'm a consultant, I'm going to do it. So it's specifically for someone who's kind of starting something from scratch. One of the main things, again, is clarity. I have this, I want to do this, but nothing ahead of that. You don't know how you want to, where you want it to go. You don't know how you want to scale. You don't know exactly where your niche is. I'm going to put it in the market. Which market? Who is your market?
Right.
So clarity and cash.
Yeah.
I know, cash is king.
Yes.
It's still king.
It is.
It's always going to be king.
Yeah.
So as long as you have these two, and I'm not saying cash meaning you need to have $2 million
Sitting in
which
your...
is great
Yeah,
if
which
you
is
have
great.
it.
There in his
But-
pockets. Isn't he?
But you
When
need
you're-
to have you need to have cash. You need to have something that keeps you going when the cash takes time to come in. Because founders don't realize the lag between actually selling and the money actually coming into your account. There is such a big gap there, especially when you're starting. Eventually, once you've started, it's fine.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, the lag is quite a bit. You need to have enough to keep you going. So you don't take desperate steps. You don't do stupid things. You don't take on people you don't need suddenly,
Yes.
take on things that will actually end up, finishing
Yeah.
you faster.
True. You don't scale up faster than what your current situation allows you to scale up. We are from the media industry.
Yeah.
as you know. So we have some creator-specific questions that we've got some people sending in within the team itself. The creator economy booming the past so many years, especially in UAE. What does someone need to actually have a creator's license? Here, some of our talents, they are either on our visa or they're on partner visas. So we know. So for the creators, in my team, let's say, most of them are on our visa or partner visa. But there are lots of creators that we work with who want to take their own license. Who can take a creator license, and what are the steps?
First of all, what is a creator license? Okay, now you were saying your team is a creator, right?
Yeah.
Explain to me what you mean by he's a creator.
They create content. They're lifestyle creators. Some of them are into e-gaming. Yeah.
Now, let's say Zubin.
Zubin is a creator.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Zubin's a creator. Zubin creates videos and content and marketing campaigns. Okay. Zubin sets up a company for marketing management, social media, whatever it might be. I come to Zubin and I'm like, Zubin, I have this brand. And I want you to help scale my brand, do my marketing campaigns, do whatever I want to do. Zubin builds my entire, media plan, tells me put radio here, do this, builds my social media for my product, takes care of all of it, but it's all happening on mine. I own the brand, I own the stuff. He has a license that allows him to do this for me on my own platforms.
Okay.
In that case, he just needs the trade license. The trade license that says social media or whatever. Now, Zubin is an influencer himself. Zubin then does all that for me, or you don't even do that for me, you're just an influencer. You are on your personal platforms or company platforms, both, either or both. You are promoting my brand. And either you're getting paid for it, or you're getting a freebie for it, or you're not getting anything for it. It does not matter. But if you, on your platform, whether personal, whether company platform, are going to promote anything that is not your own product, in that case, you need to get the advertiser's permit. That's what it's called. There's two types of advertiser permits. One is a personal one is a company one. The personal one's free for the first 3 years.
Interesting.
And then you...
happy.
You pay for it after 3 years. It's 1,000 dirhams or something like that. The company one, so if Zubin had a company named ABC and Zubin is putting Sharon's brand on ABC and ABC is getting paid for it by me or by clicks or however it works on whichever platforms, then in that case, you'd need to get both. You'd need to get a personal permit for your personal platform and a company permit for your company platform. The company permit is charged. It starts at about 5,000 dirhams and goes up from there.
Okay, so let's assume my company, we've got media license, right? Advertising license, activity in the license. And if I have creators under me, do they still need to?
They will need to. Because they are promoting on their platforms as well. So, and the thing is, the weird thing here is, which always confuses people, is that if they are hired by you, so you have given them a visa, they don't have a trade license. But they have to get a trade license first in order to get the advertiser permit.
Okay. Everyone, we're getting content creator licenses, all of you.
There are a couple of jurisdictions that are currently giving specifically for this purpose.
Yes.
Because to get the advertiser permit, your license activity has to be there's a list. I'll send it over to you after so you can have it with you. They allow certain activities only to get that. So if your trade license has, for example, IT right now, you can't get it on that. You'd have to add that marketing management activity or whatever that might be in order to get it. And there are a couple of free zones currently who are offering specifically licenses with this activity for you in order to then end up going and getting the advertiser permit. So the market's quite opened up about it. I think there's about 15,000 permits already done since this has started. And it's just growing.
Okay, so what if Joe's, he just does his cooking videos at home. He doesn't need one, right? He's just doing it. Okay.
He's promoting his own thing as long as he's promoting himself. But in that video, if you're going to promote a spatula company,
Yes.
for example,
Yes.
then you have to get.
Got it. So as long as they are not promoting a brand, whether it is free content, barter, whatever it is, that's fine. At the moment they promote something, got it. All right. So that's the first thing we'll do after this. Get all our creators on separate advertiser permits, right? They're called advertiser permits.
Advertising.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries.
You have helped all of us because it's been such detail, so many questions. I'm not sure if anybody from the team has any questions, but while they're thinking about it, let's get into some rapid fire.
Okay.
Quick, rapid fire.
Okay.
Mainland or free zone?
Ooh. Free zone.
Really? Why? Okay, that's not rapid fire, but why?
Is it for me?
Yes. For when someone comes in to start a company. There's nothing rapid fire about me.
I think it's maybe the flexibility in the beginning.
Yeah. Free zone, right?
I just want to disclaimer, this is my specific opinion.
Yes.
Not anyone else's opinion.
Got it.
So let's keep that straight from the start.
When starting a company or doing anything about a company, what do you think is more important, sales or marketing?
Sales.
Yeah.
Without sales. I mean, I'm sorry, but you can't.
Yes.
Can't be anything without sales.
Yes.
Sales.
Build fast or build right and scale slow?
Build right, scale slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Risk or stability?
Ooh, stability.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
I love risk. Okay. Speaks a lot
I
about all.
think risks, I don't know. I think, again, stubbornness and self-awareness. I
True,
get back to the same thing.
Okay.
It depends.
When someone is hiring for the first time in their company, what do you think should be the first hire? Again, sales or operations?
Operations, because you are the salesperson at that point.
Good one.
So if you can sell, you can't do both. And sorry, I know this is rapid fire, but I'm gonna just say
please.
something here. That's one of the mistakes I see founders make all the time, because they're starting out. They don't want to. I understand, because there's cash flow. They don't want to spend too much money. They don't want to hire too many people. So they are everything. They're sales. They're HR. They're ops. They're marketing. One person cannot do everything. You have built the product. You know the product better than anyone else in the world. You can sell. You can, but you are only one person. You can sell. Let someone else handle everything else.
Yes.
So you have to do that. I know it can be difficult, and I know everyone's like, oh, I want to keep as much cash in-house, but you will be burnt out before you know it. And if you give yourself time to just market and sell your product, that's the hardest part. No one can sell your product like you can. No one believes in it as much as you do. Everything else is admin. People can do it.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting you said that. Most times people would make the mistake and think that I need a salesperson. You are the salesperson.
In the beginning, you're the salesperson. Eventually, yes.
Yes.
But in the beginning, no one will sell it as well as you can.
Amazing. Networking or cold outreach?
Networking.
Okay.
I'm saying this, and I think I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite here. I'm not the best person at networking.
Okay.
Throw me in a room of people I don't know, and sometimes I can be stupidly awkward.
You were fine here.
I kind of know. It's still talking to you. So, but from experience, in the terms of the work that I'm, especially when it's a service business, because for trading, for physical goods, cold calling still works pretty well. For a service-based business, networking is so important because referrals. I will always buy from someone who someone told me they have bought from. The product might be different, the package might be different, but someone has told me that I've gotten it from them. I trust you by default. So that's where networking works.
Okay, got it. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
People buy from people.
Yeah, absolutely. One last question. If tomorrow morning you wake up and no money, let's say just 5,000 dirhams, no contacts, nothing, how will you rebuild your life?
I would leave Dubai.
Ooh.
Because 5,000 dirhams cannot survive here. I would go to India or Bali. I would start building content online to put whatever it might be. Honestly, I would just start putting up stuff, just putting up till I figure out what works. And I think I would build my business from there. I would build content.
Personal branding.
I'm not really sure if I would do it personally for me, or it would be more related to certain things, and maybe I sell it to companies or however that might be. But I think it would be 100% content related. Things that I can do myself in-house and then put out somewhere.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that. Or maybe if because since we are going through a hypothetical situation, I would hope that I have better skills when it comes to technology. I would build an app or build a product to sort out customer service and operational issues.
Okay, we have a product here. Maybe we can. Yeah,
Yes.
he's built it here.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah, because I have seen that. I see that currently with the job I'm in as well.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm saying, it would be very intangible and online
got it.
related. That would be what I'd do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon.
It's my pleasure. Thank you
It
for
has
having
been
me.
an absolute pleasure. We've learned so much today. And like Kasai said, we've been here so many years, still we don't know so many things. And it's a very rapidly changing
time,
environment as well, right? Thank you so much. This was one of the most requested podcasts. Thank you for being
I'm
here.
happy to be here. Thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasure.
Thank you everyone for joining us in Business Best Friends, and we'll see you in the next one.